I was more old school. I went, my first office, it wasn't anywhere near a courthouse, which I've always associated. And I feel like the older I've gotten in this profession or the more experienced, I feel like people associate success with proximity to the courthouse. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but when I first started, I was so far away from the courthouse because that's all I could afford. And I remember it's $550 a month. That was my rent. And so, and
In
I thought,
Northern Virginia,
yeah,
which is
yeah, it
amazing.
wasn't, it wasn't a big office.
Yeah.
It was like a 10 by 10. And it was, looking back on it, I was lucky. I was lucky just to get, I was lucky to kind of get to that next level. And my next office, I think, was $1,100 a month. And I went and literally had to really think long. And I'm like, man, this is because you have to worry about OpEx, your operational expenses, and the cost of everything. And so I'm kind of a worrier that way. And so, and that was the biggest, that was a thing, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I talked to my wife, like, how can I afford this? It's 1,100 a month, and it was a couple days struggle to try to pull that trigger. Again, this is years and years and years ago, but I remember it, looking back on it fondly, but I'm sure it wasn't, I'm sure it wasn't, I'm sure it was a nerve wracking thing, but, so yeah, anyway, that was, yeah, it was $550 a month, and I was nowhere near the courthouse, but somehow we made it work.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. And so as you were thinking about that at that time, in terms of, I'm trying to make this decision, right? I know I have a vision for what needs to be, and I need to figure out how to get there. What were some of your thoughts about, okay, if I have this many clients at this many rates, or did you even go down that road as you were trying to make the decision about the office space?
No, I wasn't smart enough to kind of do that. I honestly, I did not look at it that way. I just said, I'm going to get up every morning and work my butt off. That's kind of what it was. I wasn't analytical like that. I wasn't a metric. I'm more metric driven now than then. And I think I was just dumb enough to say, I'm just going to commit to this lifestyle where I'm just going to do everything I can. Of course, I got on the court appointed list for those revenue streams, the guardian ad litem list. So I was doing everything I can to pull it in. And I'm like, if I can just get to, get some, get some revenue coming in, and then figure out the rest as I go. And we have a joke around the firm now. It's like, we build it as we fly it, and that's kind of the way. That's kind of the way I was then. I'm like, look, the airplane's taxiing down. We're getting ready to take off. We're still trying to install the wing, but we just kind of slowly figured it out. And I don't know if Seth, if you took law practice management in law school, they scare you to death about having, all the money in the bank in the world to try to start these firms. And I don't disagree with it, but sometimes it's not that perfect. It's not that perfect of a setup where, hey, I'm going to start my firm. I had 300,000 in the bank, just in disposable income.
Right, right.
And I'm going to set aside 200,000 in marketing it's just, I think you do it, and you have to believe in yourself, and you just have to commit to your work ethic and have that ethos, and usually it'll work out,
Yeah. No, that's awesome, because there is so much out there of, okay, here's the model, here's the structure, here's the do this. You got to have this level of technology. You've got to have this level of experience. But
Right.
ultimately, it comes down to the drive of the individual. And if that
I agree.
individual says, I'm committed, I'm going to make this work no matter what, and I just feel this call to do this and to be out and go. And then as time goes on, you get some perspective, but at that first moment that when you're the founder, when you're launching,
Yeah.
I got to go all in. We talk about this recently in a series at our church of calling it burning the ships, and it was kind of like, I'm going. I could always get another job or do something like that, but I'm committed, and there's not going to be any looking back, and I've got to go and give everything I can to make this happen. And as you
Yeah.
see, it happens.